Academy in Leeds to get a few words with new supergroup Loup Garoux. Hi guys, great to meet you.
Hi there, nice to meet you.
The band consists of members of Gorillaz on the Feeling. How did it all come about?
Well, I came back from tour in the US and was kind of at a loss what to do, and then Richard came round for the weekend to sort of have dinner and hang out, and we went into my studio, which is called the Wolf Cabin, and I had a few songs kind of kicking around, and then we had a bit to drink, and I played them to him, and then there was a sort of eureka moment where I just said, hey, I think we should form a band, you know, and then we thought we need to get a drummer, and then the first person I thought of was Cass.
Luckily he was available.
Luckily he was actually available.
But also, I think there was more, you know, part of it as well was that my band The Feeling, we were on a break, maybe permanent break, we weren't sure, we'd kind of split up temporarily, but so I was at a bit of a loose end, and then unbeknownst to us, Cass was kind of looking for you were busy doing stuff, but you were open to other projects at that
We were kind of all like a crossroads in a way, I think,
Yeah,
in our lives and our careers, and we sort of felt like we needed something different, and it was just...
When was this?
It's almost 2 years ago.
It's about 2002.
Yeah. And then when we started kind of just playing, you know, I hadn't really been in a band for so long, you know, always been a solo artist, and we started playing together, and it was just immediate. It was so immediate, you know, it just clicked. You know, there was obviously internally, subconsciously, there was the worry that it might not, you know.
Well, I think initially we were just getting together to kind of jam through some of Ed's ideas that had kind of been lying dormant, and just for the fun of it to kind of do something else. But actually we didn't realise that we'd immediately start writing songs together from scratch.
Yeah.
And it just came...
Yeah, I think we wrote like three songs off the bat that day.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a couple of just really scratch kind of melodies and titles for something, but they weren't specifically for this band at all. It was just some things, and I kind of mentioned this and that, and we just started playing through, and then that was a song, and then we started a different rhythm, and Ed freestyled the vocal over it, and then that was another song. And then I had two tiny little kind of melody ideas that we put down that afternoon that we only came back to recently and joined them together and made something that is not even for this album, it's going to be for the second album, but it's amazing, it's really brilliant. But the chemistry of kind of the feel of it was really immediate. And we didn't start looking at the older Ed's other material for a little while, and then when we went back to that, it was a case of literally just taking those things and just replaying them with ourselves, but slightly polishing it or just tweaking it, and it just literally like
the opposite.
It was like pulling focus on a thing. It just suddenly kind of sharpened it, and it was really immediate, and it was as if we'd been playing for years. And the weird thing is tonight I think is our 5th gig together. We only played our first gig a week or so ago doing the Supergrass thing, but already like it feels like we just play really well together. It feels really good.
How would you say the reception for the band has been so far?
It's been pretty good, you know, and we've been really positive, and you know, we kind of we feel like we've only just started, you know. So it's
We've
kind
only
of
kind of 3 songs, but only really 2 because one of them you can see on YouTube.
We've got the arrogance and the entitlement, as if we've been going for ages, and you know, expecting and
Yeah.
that we deserved more quicker. But no, it's, you know, to be honest, at this stage of the game, no one would. No one's going to knock it because it is really good, but B, it's just, you know, we're at a stage where no one's going to knock it at the moment. I don't, you know.
Yeah, I think, you know.
But it has been really
we
positive.
we need to get to the point where we're so successful that then people start to really hate us.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
Then that's when you know you've made it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ed, does the name Loup Garoux come from one of your songs or similar thing? Does the band name?
Yeah. So basically, I wrote a song. It was on Furnaces, an album that I did 4 years ago called Loup Garoux, and without the X, and it's French for werewolf. And I actually was inspired by reading a book called Extraordinary Delusions and the Madness of Crowds by a 19th century writer called Charles Mackay, and it was about witchcraft in France in the sort of 16th, 17th century.
You're going to say this tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to do a lengthy sort of expose on
The
the band name
Actually-
on stage, just sort of to fill up the time.
Yeah, do.
Because we, you know, we have too much time.
I
think
actually
so.
want him to do that.
Yeah. Duncan, what are you doing?
Get out!
Get out!
Jesus!
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's our tour manager, poor guy.
Poor guy. Poor Duncan. Well, sorry, Duncan.
It's only
Not really.
5 gigs, tormented to life.
And then we like a friend gave me a poster of the Oliver Reed werewolf film, The Curse of the Werewolf, but
Yeah.
it's in French and it's on my studio wall, and then the guys like one night were like, oh, let's
Yeah, me
call
and
ourselves-
Rich were the thing. Coming up with band names is really, it's one of, it can split
So
bands
difficult.
up. It's so boring. But we never had any other name for this band, and it wasn't something that Ed had suggested. Myself and Rich were looking at this poster, and I just went, that sounds kind of French Haitian. It kind of summed up a lot of the feeling that we had of kind of it being a little bit kind of voodoo-esque at the time and a bit Haitian, and we added the X as a kind of tip of the hat to the Mamaroo Dr. John song. And I remember kind of saying to Ed, we kind of went, we think we got a name. He wasn't that into it because he'd already had that song, and he felt that it needed to be kind of a cleaner kind of brand new thing, but it just stuck. And
Well, I think to
they
Cassidy,
didn't-
though, that actually only
Only
saw that
cemented it
as,
more,
a,
yeah.
as a positive thing, because we
Yeah.
both thought of it independently
Yeah.
because of the poster, and then I actually, we just convinced you that, because it is, you know,
They didn't like my other band names either that I came up
well, you know, lampshade,
with, like the hemorrhoids,
walnut gears,
Rage Against the Washing Machine.
third time lucky.
boob job. Just, there was,
Yeah.
there was
Yeah, the
boob job.
Botox.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There was terrible names. He had a list of them.
It's
and-
been interesting though. Some people like, you know, there's some great bands with terrible names. I like always
Side
like to go
Boo.
through that.
So,
Flaming Lips is a good name. I've
Flaming-
always liked Flaming Lips. Velvet Underground
it's
is
a
a great
good
name.
band. If it was not a good band, you might change your mind.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Butthole Surfers, that's a good name.
Yeah, I think the thing is if it's a good band, you like the name.
True.
I mean, I don't think Primal Scream is actually like in and of itself. It sounds, if you didn't know them, you might think it was a heavy metal band.
I don't think
Now-
Radiohead is a good band name. Great band.
Yeah,
It can go either way, basically.
it can go either way.
Loup Garoux, is that a good name? Who cares?
I care.
I think it's a good name. More.
Anyway.
How proud are you that Sleep Forever became the theme for the TV show Zomboat?
Well, it was brilliant that we got
It really
got
helped.
our song Sleep Forever on the Zomboat soundtrack. Firstly, because we watched it and we thought it was really funny, and we could totally see how the music works.
Yeah.
And it just was the amazing opportunity at the right time, because it just gave us the momentum to get on with it. And you know,
Because we had Painter of Trophies kind of planned, and then it came up so fast that we kind of it's why we haven't done an image or a video for it, but it came up really fast, and that crystallised what we were doing, gave us exposure, and it actually there's been so much blind faith with this band that we didn't even consider that we were going to need funds in order to finish the record and get it mixed. But that one thing actually, got us
Well,
mixed.
it came at the time where we didn't really know what we were doing other than getting together and making music that we thought was great. And as we would get together once a month and write more songs, and then after doing that for a few months, we started to feel like actually maybe this is something worth pursuing. And it was only when we kind of were starting to feel like that we got a manager, and then he helped us get this sync, and then it just all kind of came at the right time, really, as is the case with making the album, which we.
I haven't actually finished Zomboat. I need to watch.
I have.
Really?
Oh, right, okay. Your phone's going on. But yeah, well, I hope there's a season 2. That would be great. But yeah, we'd like to get more. We'd like to get our music on more zombie comedy horror shows.
It suits us, I think.
It feels right.
What would you say are the influences for the band?
I think we're all into a lot of the same things, but also different things. And the sum of all our influences is definitely sort of. Someone said the other night when we played that they enjoyed the set and they felt like it was lots of different bands that they love were kind of combined, in what we do in the sound.
Yeah, I think as well, because all of us have done lots of very different types of music in the past. Within this band, there's a lot of influences that we all share that we haven't really got to explore before. So we're getting to push the kind of more sort of alternative rock and noise bands and all stuff that we loved in the 90s.
Like Sonic Youth and
Yeah.
things like that, and then Fugazi, but then also we're really into Scott Walker and we're really into Mercury Rev and lots of different. So it's all over the shop really. Even early Pumpkins and
There's never been really a point where we've kind of discussed it and said it needs to sound like this or that. It's but I think also where we came from collectively without having to talk about it, we knew instinctively what sounded good. But also, I think kind of the subject matter and the lyrics and and the melodies, it's all drinking from the same palate, I think.
definitely.
On the description of your Instagram page, there's a quote that says, "Out of the cabin, a wild wind howled and it raised everything inside." What is the quote from?
The brain of this guy.
Yeah.
Is it like Edgar Allan Poe or something?
No, it was just.
Or did you just make it up?
No, I did just make it up.
Oh, it's good. It's very poetic.
But yeah, I know. Funny enough, despite the fact that if you see the Instagrams and everything that we've put up on our own stuff, we do screw around a lot. I mean, when it comes to the music, I was coming out of something really heavy in my life that was and from a kind of cerebral narrative emotional point of view, that's exactly kind of how I felt, like kind of very torn apart and blown 3 sheets to the wind, and kind of everything was scattered in my life, and it kind of felt like this roar that the sound that this band had was this collective kind of cathartic, fucking huge, romantic, insane, wild, howling wind. And that's kind of, I wanted that to be represented in just little quotes and stuff. But because one of the tracks we've got, Better Than Heaven, it's it's on the basis and the chord structure and the lyrical content, it's a very beautiful, loving song. But the sound of it behind it is just like a howling chaos, and that enraptures, that it wraps up and then is shrouded in this kind of beauty. And I like that duality, and it comes back to the name as well, where the kind of Loup Garoux, the werewolf nature is somewhere, someone caught between beast and man, And
But the Loup Garoux is slightly different to an actual normal werewolf. You see, it's it can change at will when it wants. It doesn't just change, when there's like a full moon.
So it's a werewolf.
So it's more like a now. Well, not werewolf, a werewolf. it's got to be, you know,
The Leeds.
Leeds Academy, you know, more than any other. I mean, this dressing room.
Actually,
I'm
you know
on-
what he's pissing about, but the fact of the matter is last night, you know, we played it last night, and the sound out of the whole
It did sound really good.
But we haven't had a bad gig so far. You know, it's only we're only 5 gigs in.
It's a great venue.
So it sounds really good.
I think really, God, you know, it's good. For me, I would love for us to play somewhere like Red Rocks, you know, in America. I played there with REM a long time ago, and that would be a very fitting place, I think, for, you know, out in the desert for Loup Garoux.
What would you say your favourite track is? What would you say is your current favourite track to play live?
Oh man, it changes every night, doesn't it?
I think last night, Strange Angels was the best. Played it. Really exciting.
I think I enjoy playing Better Than Heaven. There seems to be something when we play it, when we play that song. It seems to kind of. I notice people kind of being stopping in their tracks a little and kind of paying attention. And you know, as a support band, you kind of got to win over the
It's
crowd.
all new music. None of them heard most of it.
But I
Any
think
of it.
you know the everyone's, you know, the crowd's been really cool. So you know, but it changes. I think basically the song that we don't screw up.
Would you say that things are moving quickly for the band as you have a headline tour starting in May?
Not quick enough, really.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the funny thing is everything has happened. You know, the name came around immediately, the songs came immediately, the chemistry came immediately. The management was the first people we met, and we instinctively knew they were right. The Zomboat thing came on a plate. You know, we've had great support from radio. Everything has been as fast and as good as it can be. It's not fast enough. It's not fast enough.
Yeah, we are quite impatient. But you know, we did form nearly 2 years ago, but it's been a lot of kind of.
We've all been, yeah.
We really like hold away, you know, we hold ourselves away.
But the fact of
my
the matter
studio.
is like we were saying this, it's like, you know, we formed 2 years ago, but we've done the writing sessions, and every time we wrote, there wasn't a dead song in there, something came out. But we only got together, you know, like 2 or 3 days every 6 weeks.
Yeah, to be honest, like.
If you added it up, we probably worked on it for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's only been like 3 weeks of.
So we've been
Recording,
together 2 years,
writing.
and yes,
Yeah.
3 weeks.
We work like we just work very instinctively and very quickly.
But also, all 3 of us get. I think 18 hours in a single stretch is as much as either of us can handle of each other. I think after that, I start to actively hate the other team.
He gets quite sort of physical.
Yeah.
It's very extreme. He's either.
Yeah.
you know,
See, I get angry and uptight, whereas he gets amorous, and I don't really like being touched.
But the thing, when he gets angry with me, it kind of, I don't know, it makes me happy.
Yeah, well, I
In a
don't
really
think
weird,
happy. I
in a
think
sort of weird, twisted way.
no.
I don't know why. Anyway,
So yeah, short
we
bursts.
digress. We digress.
How would you describe Loup Garoux in 3 words?
Larry, Moe, and Curly.
Harpo, Chico, and Groucho.
Sometimes Zeppo.
That's, yeah, think about it.
There are lots of references to the Wolf Cabin. Is this Loup Garoux HQ as well as the studio?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what
It's our
it's become.
spiritual home for sure.
Definitely, it's basically a log cabin at the back of my garden that I built this studio, and it's completely soundproof, so we can sort of play, which we have done many times, at 4 in the morning, and we don't get any complaints. And it's very much you shut the door and it becomes this escapism, you know.
But it's
So it's quite-
furthermore, which is
it's
not
like
it's
a
not
fun,
word
a
you-
fun panic room.
It's a kind of, it's a kind of safe space, but it's the actual sound of that room, the resonance of that room, because it is made of wood, and a lot of the tracks in the album are things that we've played together and we've used. They're not separated or re-recorded. They're actually the sounds that we made as we were playing together. And there's a certain sound where the room itself is actually kind of vibrating like an instrument itself. So joking aside, it is the sound of that cabin. I don't think we could have done this record anywhere else. I genuinely believe that, because it's not like we've gone into a different rehearsal space or we've gone into a studio. The sound of that room where those songs were birthed, the time it was birthed, and how it's been recorded, and because it's so comfortable there, and you're not sitting on someone else's clock. Like when you go into the studio and you're paying, you can see how much you're paying for an hour and this and that.
Yeah.
It's like it comes out, and it's an incredible. It's like Lucian Freud's Francis Bacon's studio. You know, it's just like everything's it's a fucking mess.
It's total chaos, but it's the way I like it. But also, you know, I just I don't dare change anything or move anything around
or clean anything up,
or clean
or wipe any surfaces.
It's very much, you know, yeah. After a couple of days, you know, I have to sort of exercise it.
We'll open the door or the window.
You know, basically
something.
open the door and just really,
Something.
just sort of metaphysically hose it down. You know. So,
Smells very bleachy in there.
yeah.
What are you guys listening to at the moment?
Wow. You know what? I've just started. I don't know why, but I started listening to Buddy Holly.
I love Buddy Holly.
I know, it's so amazing. And then this Japanese band called Mono. They've got this album that I'm kind of obsessed with, and then it's like massive kind of post rock instrumental, really amazing. And then
I've definitely got quite back into early Smashing Pumpkins.
yeah,
Recently, since
like Gish and stuff.
yeah, since we've been working together, it's just reminded me of a lot of those records that I loved when I was a teenager.
I remember when I heard Siamese Dream, I was like, really, it blew my mind in the same way that like Nirvana's Nevermind. You know?
But I tell you what, we've been doing little on our website. We've been doing kind of playlists of stuff that we listen to, and that's a kind of mixture of a lot of our old stuff and.
Obsessed with New Kingdom, this hip hop band from the 90s. They had an album called Paradise Don't Come Cheap, I think. And then, but the first album's called Heavy Load, and they're amazing. It's like really, I'm really like listen to them all the time. So,
Yeah.
so nothing new at the moment.
Oh, I listen to new stuff.
I try.
Everyone listens to Billie Eilish because
Yeah, she's great.
You have to.
She's fantastic.
But yeah, I like Tyler the Creator's and stuff.
Yeah, he's really
I
good.
liked. I think one of the best pop records. It's actually not that new now, but that My Time, Nighttime, My Time, the Sky Forever.
Oh yeah.
is a fantastic pop record. Yeah, lots of old stuff as well.
I quite like some of the ASAP Rocky stuff as well. I think it's quite good.
Is there any news for a release date for your album?
No.
No.
Later.
We are literally in the middle of finishing it.
We're mixing it we're probably towards the end of the year, but we're kind of very much following our noses as to what we do as and when. So we're definitely going to put out at least another 2 or 3 songs before we even think about putting the album out.
We've got a few things.
I think we've got the album finished. It's being mixed at the moment, but you never know. There might suddenly be something. But all the new stuff we've done sounds like a band that's now developed, and it sounds like it's almost like second album.
We're already talking about the second album. We're already writing for the second album. So you know, it's definitely going to be slightly different, I think. Oh.
And that, my friend,
And that
is the end of the interview.
that's our pet duck.
Richard, I have to ask, your mother-in-law is ex-Blue Peter presenter Janet Ellis. Does this mean your birthday and Christmas presents are ones that were made earlier?
Hey.
Very good.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Yes. She's very creative, my mother-in-law.
That's
What?
in,
Oh, no, sorry.
no, you can't.
No, I was going to say a stupid thing, and now I've decided not to.
That's the end of the interview, but before I go, Cass, can I have a Torio drum kit?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Thank you for spending your time.
Pleasure.
Pleasure, man.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
And by
Great
the way,
questions.
this is the first ever interview that we've done.
Oh yeah, is it?
That's also
Excellent.
true.
Oh.
So
Yeah, exclusive.
You can put that.
I thought that felt weird.
Say I'm praying with trophies, like a big round master celebrate. The black collector rewards what he can. People hunger for air, remember Since